the biggest thing is that you have to understand that you're not going to get where you want to be not being able to talk.
Mm.
You have
Mhm.
to use your voice to get to where you're trying to go.
Whew.
And if you don't use your voice, you're not going to get to where you need to go. You have to be able to
Facts.
speak it. You have to be able to speak
Ah.
it. You have to be able to say what you want. A lot of times you waiting on somebody to give you a raise at work. Okay, if you got the facts, like if you got the facts that you've done more above and beyond for your work, then you should be able to have that conversation.
Right. Artists, creatives, and designers. I'm your host, Electra, and welcome to Dream Aloud Art, where we have educating, inspiring, and motivating conversations with creatives from around the world. Show some love and support by subscribing, liking this video, and uplift another creative by sharing this video. Let's tune in to another amazing conversation. Let's go. Artists, creatives, and designers, welcome to Dream Aloud Art on YouTube. And we have a very special guest today. But you know, the thing about our guest is that he's like a regular at this point. It's like he's so part of the family, part of the Respect the Artist family. But the thing about it, as far as him coming back on Dream Aloud Art with an interview, is that there's progress being made here. You know, that's one of the awesome things about our guest today, OBE. And of course, on the gram, he's like OBE Gains Maker and all of this. And so, of course, we're going to have all his links in the description below. So what do you need to know about OBE if you've never heard of him before? So first and foremost, he is the creator and innovator of the new hit upcoming series Shaolin Moors. So y'all got to get familiar with that. You really do. So his primary purpose of life, as he has stated, is helping others understand the importance of balancing their personal life with their craft. Y'all put your hands together. Give it up for the brother, OBE. What's going on, OBE? Good to have you back.
What's good with your dream?
Yes, look. Interviews. I think I have another one lined up. Yes, not think. I have another one lined up tomorrow. And it's, you know, it's all good. This is what I do. I used to do a ton of them back to back, like 4 or 5 days a week, you know. But of course, you know, things have expanded but there's still plenty of excitement going on. So you're brand new to some of us out here.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you tell us as far as what is current with you, the update with you? Like if we just come across you, what is like the main highlight that we should know about OBE?
So the main highlight about me at this point currently is that Shaolin Moors has been making progress. We're on the final pages of drafts, and then we're going to be shifting to the actual detailed sketches, then inking, then colors, and so forth. So actually, we're going to be running the Kickstarter again next week on the 1st. So we're going to be running that back. We actually had a lot of success doing with the last one. We raised about $5,600
Oh, that's
on Kickstarter.
awesome.
But you know, we shot for 8,000, and at the
Mm-hmm.
time, this was during the holidays too. So we actually made a nice chunk of money during that time. So the goal is to pretty much we're gonna run it back, run those numbers again, and what we're gonna do is all of this is going toward the actual project itself. This is not money to come back to me. It's gonna go to
Sure.
In the Days of Mars. It's gonna go to everybody on the
Yeah,
team
absolutely.
that are the resources to bring this project to life. Also, for everyone that did back the project originally, we're going to actually be giving a free comic away with it, with the collaboration of OBE Games Maker and SUPERMEGA Dopido. We combined both of our series together for an ultimate battle, the Battle of the Gods, where I have my character Ra, and we have his character Pops, and they're basically like godlike beings that pretty much go at it. And
Okay.
we're going to be giving a free copy of those to everyone that did back the project. PDF copy. We're going to we'll email those out to everyone, but they'll get a free copy of that for rebacking the project again. So everybody that comes
Okay.
back from the first time around, hey, you get a free, fully colored battle, like a full colored comic with it
Yes,
on
absolutely.
top of the Shaolin Moors comic.
All right, I'm with it. I'm with it. Now hold on. Hold on, because you gave us a lot to digest, right?
Okay.
Which is good, because the part that you gave us to digest is really from those who have been writing. Like, they know about Shaolin Moores, they've supported, and you were just talking about the Kickstarter. So let's take it back a little bit further here.
Mhm.
To the person who has yet to know anything about Shaolin Moores and about the project, what is current with you as far as your introduction is concerned? You know, like, who are you? To the brand new person, they've heard, of course, that you're the creator of the series Shaolin Moores. So tell us about that. You know, what is Shaolin Moores? Like, what is that?
Yeah, so Shaolin Moores is based on a passion project of mine. I started it back, man, I feel like 7, 8 years ago. Man, the time really flies. This is a
Yeah.
passion project where I started creating this around when I first started back redrawing. There was a time where I
Mm,
went through a very dark time in my life, lost everything, had to rebuild my life back up. And during that
mm,
time, I ended up seeking out my passion. I wanted to figure out exactly what made me me. And
mm-hmm.
art was that thing that was I was born to do it. It was something I
Yeah.
always had a passion about. It was something that I did that I didn't really have to think about. But the thing with art is that I never knew how to learn how to draw black people. I pretty much it just wasn't
Mm,
clicking.
mm, mm.
So when the motivation for when I started back drawing was like, look, I gotta figure out how to draw myself. Like I have to be able to
Right.
myself with my features.
Sure.
That became the goal. So during that time, the universe gave me a very great idea for Shaolin Moores. I took all those pieces, and pretty much that's what led to what is today. And
Mm,
Shaolin Moores is a mixture of both of the two cultures that I love the most, which is African and Asian culture.
mm, mm. Can we touch on the Asian culture for just a minute? My goodness, no, this is real. I had this conversation with Poseidon Magna on my previous interview, because, like, I mean, I don't even know. Okay, and I'm Asian, and I still don't know why I have a because my mother's Filipino and Spanish, but I have always had a strong draw to the Japanese culture, a
Mm-hmm.
strong interest in the Japanese culture. And what I was mentioning with Poseidon Magna um, in our chat was, like, what is this? Like, I don't know what this thing is with some black people in the Japanese culture. Like, we're like a vibe. When I lived in Japan, it's like, I met Japanese people who were intrigued with black people and how we live and all of this. And so, I don't just I'm curious, what are your thoughts about that connection with the Asian culture or the interests, and what that's been like for you, or why you're inspired by it, or something along those lines.
Yeah, for my personal reasons, I just grew up watching anime.
Oh,
Like,
here we go. Y'all.
yes, it was anime. It was anime.
Oh my God.
It was the anime kung fu movies. The just
Very true. Okay, let me stop. Very true. Let me stop. It wasn't anime for me, but that's so true about movies.
yeah.
And I watched Shogun movies, and then later in life I found out that Sailor Moon was actually anime, and I was like, oh, I didn't know, because I kind of liked Sailor Moon when I was younger. So okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's when it started for me. It was, I already liked Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee,
Mm-mm.
and just the kung fu movies, the anime. Those were the main two things I just like watching all the time, and probably because I like the warrior nature of it, like especially for the kung fu movies.
Mm-mm.
They walk in the room like, hey, it's like hardly no talking, and it's fighting. And they're basically like beating the crap out of each other, tossing each other everywhere. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Then you see the terrible effects, but you like it.
Right.
But
That's, you
so
know what? That's so good. I love how you said that about, like, there's barely anything said. There's no talking. And if we're being real, that's really how it is. Like, the energy that we carry, like our presence, something is felt, something is known. And it's also said that only 5% of communication is verbal.
yeah,
and it like that's pretty powerful. So, and let me give this plug. I am so sorry, y'all, but also stay tuned because the artist known as Super Mega Dopey Dope will be jumping in on this conversation, and him and Obi are going to expand on their collaboration with the Battle of the Gods. Okay, so just stay tuned for that too. This is also for my podcasters that are tuning in. Okay, great. So tell us a little bit more about Shaolin Moors. You mentioned earlier that, the universe gave you this vision, gave you this download, and what exactly comes with Shaolin Moors? I say that I'm new. I have no idea what this is about. I am taking it in because I'm really interested in that combination of the cultures, etc. But who is Shaolin Moors to us?
Yeah, so Shaolin Moors to us, or the
To
vision
whomever.
for the
To
people,
whomever.
pretty much. I wanted to create a series that had characters that not only represented us, but also a story that actually taught you lessons. Like, you'll be going through
Mm.
this story following, and I mean, it's a very expansive story, so there are going to be multiple lessons because
Mm.
through my life, the lessons that I learned are what made me into what I am today. A lot of harsh lessons, a lot of truths. You learn a lot about the type of people you can trust, and learning that you can't
Mm.
trust everybody, and or hey, learning about bad financial habits and generational curses. It's so much that you can learn, and those lessons are what help people move forward. But the thing is, a lot of people just don't know. They don't have access to the information.
Mm.
So a
That's
lot of people,
correct.
yeah, and typically most people are not going to read a book. So why not create something that looks cool, that has the content and the type of things that we like, but also provide the lessons? That
Right.
way it can reach the masses to where, hey, I don't have to read this book, but I still can get this lesson about why.
Hmm.
And then that way it can be used over and over and over. Because I mean, you got plenty of anime. If you really watch them, they teach you a lot of lessons if you pay attention to
Yes, they do. Yes.
them. They teach you a lot.
Yes. Okay,
So
wait, real quick. Are you familiar with Baki?
yes,
Okay. I don't even like sometimes, when I watched these things, I was like, okay, why am I watching it? I can't take my eyes off of this. It's so good. But something like Baki, there were I was actually learning real things.
yeah,
Like there were, I don't know, subjects that were discussed on there where it really raised curiosity for me. And I decided to Google different, techniques that they were mentioning. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a real thing. Like I'm actually learning something, just to relate to what you were saying.
right,
That's good.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what exactly I guess I'm going down the path of trials, tests, different things that breadcrumbs perhaps that may have led you to the creation of Shaolin Moors. Was that there, or was it more of like a really strong download and you just started having it come to life based on, that strong download or information that's being given to you? Or did you test and try different things and you're still kind of coming into roadblocks with characters and whatnot? Like, how did that development process, I guess, maybe look for you?
hmm So for me, actually, everything just came as I kept building. It wasn't hey, it's got to be this way. I truly didn't know what the series, like how I just saw. I remember getting the idea, and I remember having a vision of how the anime looked, and it looked crazy good. And I was like, "Yo, this looks amazing." I just kept drawing. I was like, I'm looking at my stuff, and I'm like, "Man, this is what this is gonna look like one
They'll
day."
be fire.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, man, this looks sick. So like, okay, cool, let me stick with it. So over time, like every year, I would always get like some type of vision, or I'm always led to the right artist or the
Hmm.
type of artist that would help me be able to depict the characters, especially before my skill level got to where it is. But I got inspiration from different artists that helped me
True.
build my characters into
Okay.
how they look now. And over time, my characters just developed their different looks. Now, obviously, I designed them and I
Hmm.
made them a certain way, but seeing different styles helped me be able to develop their looks. And
Okay.
over time, it's just like, okay, Now I'm seeing how they look. Now the story pieces start to kind of come in. So sometimes when I create characters, I'll know
Mm,
how they look before I really draw them. I'll know which certain pieces I need to pull to make
mm,
it look a certain way.
mm.
And once I draw them, the general idea for them will be there. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of what they're on. This is kind of their personality. It's almost like you kind of inject life into them. Like I drew
Mm.
them, empty shell, life. that's that's
Nice.
that's what that character is. So some characters, and that's a part with the writing process too. Working with a writer and figuring out what exact pieces will fit into like you place the character. So you
Mm,
like, okay, let's take this character because it's like I have a whole slew of characters. People know I'm known for having so many original characters.
mm.
I have to figure out where they should fit in the story.
Ah,
Yeah, so a
mm,
lot of times that's where a lot of that would come in. Like, okay, let me take this piece. Okay, we need a character that fits this part. Let's take him, put
hmm.
him or her, and place them here. Or if we have to design characters, it's like, okay, these are the ideas or the downloads that I get while I see them. It's almost like I can peek into the universe in a sense and kind of see what they look like. Like, okay,
Right.
this is what I'm seeing. All right, let me put that down.
Mm,
Over time, it does become like a certain skill of designing characters. I think, yeah, yeah,
hmm.
yeah. So, um, that's what I'm saying. Like every year, I would get more and more pieces as I just built it. The more and more
Gotcha.
the bigger my network got, the more artists that I met, the more I got to see. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be huge. Like this is really gonna be bigger than I ever imagined.
Absolutely.
And then once we finally got to take it to LA, that really made it clear, like, okay, this is going to be real big because
Right.
they've never seen nothing like it. They,
Mm,
I had one of the guys on Peter Comics. He's a pretty cool guy, dope series. Definitely check him out. He saw the characters and he was like, "Man, dude, you like He was telling me he's like, "Man, you like redefine fashion with your characters."
mm,
Hey,
mm.
I'm just drawing what I like. Like I'm drawing.
Right.
Like
But
I'm
did you
not
see
even.
that coming?
Yeah,
Like, well,
Yeah, I'm not
okay.
even I'm not even thinking that deep on how they look. Yeah, I just draw like little pieces or stuff that I like. Oh, okay, this looks cool. And then you kind of put it together. Like, oh man, this is sick. Like, and then but to hear that, it was like, man, that's cool. Like, because
Mm,
fashion is big for me. Like, I'm real big into fashion, even though I have such a I have my own style at this point. But
understood.
being able to see, like, people to be able to look at them and see the style, the swag to them, the like the finesse, the
Hmm.
great tip, like they got personality.
Absolutely.
They have a lot of
Absolutely. Which is
personality.
distinguishing. That, like, all those different things are extremely distinguishing. I mean, you can think of characters right now, several of them that are very distinguishing in their appearance.
Yeah,
Boom. Like there's only one character who does it like that, like
yeah.
that's what's up.
So
Mm,
that's pretty much how it all built up. It was year by
yeah.
year, and then as it closer as it got, like as it's gotten to prime time, it's like, okay, now it's time to put it on stage. Now it's time for people to
Yes.
see it in masses, and now that's where the opportunities are continuing to open up to put it on a big platform, to where the people that can invest, I would say, the big bucks, to really shift it into like on TV. You know,
Mm, mm.
that's where all of that stuff
Whew.
happen. And that's all going to happen in time. It's just more or less continuing to carry the vision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's critical. Of course, we're going to go 20 levels deep with this too, because um, everyone has their own process, whatever
Mhm.
that looks like. And so they're going to have challenges, whether that appears as external challenges or challenges within themselves, or to relax this idea of certain things need to happen maybe sooner than they're supposed to happen. Like, you were just talking about, a show or something like that. And then someone else to someone else is like, okay, can we actually exercise the patience to say, that sounds like an amazing idea. I still would have to make sure that these 3 things, 4 things, 12 things are in place. And then when the time is right, then it'll be right. But still having that understanding that that is a possibility for you too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like we may see some of these larger ideas, or we have artists that may tune in right now and see what you're doing, and to them that looks like it's so far from achievable that
Mm-hmm.
they may not even want to start, you know. So why don't we touch bases on that? What kind of I feel like I want to answer this one, but because we all have something we could say about this, but what kind of mindset should an artist have? Your suggestion. What kind of mindset should an artist have? Should a creative of any kind have if they actually want to move toward a vision that they know they've been given? What
Mm-hmm.
kind of mindset is it healthy for them to have moving forward?
Well, I would say it's a bit bigger, even though the platform is for creatives. I think it's for anybody because if you have a vision for
Mm-hmm.
something and you truly believe it, it's going to take everything you have to bring that vision to life. When you're given a gift or a vision from the universe or God, whatever you believe in, or a higher power, and you
Mm-hmm.
see it's when you see it. When you see it for the first time, you're just wowed by it. It's just like, wow, like really? Like I could build that, like I can make that.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a level of self-belief to really see if you could pull it off. And it takes a level of love, self-love to yourself. And a lot of times that takes development as well. I know when I first got the project, I was in a okay space of self-love. Where I'm at now versus then is like night and day. Like I'm far,
Yeah.
like self-love is like the most important thing.
It's through the roof. The numbers are high.
Yeah, definitely don't have rookie numbers.
Right. Yeah.
But
That's good.
originally starting out, I loved myself, but there was so much that I needed to deal with myself. And over time, I just kept dealing with things, got myself in shape health wise,
Yeah.
taking care of the mental, the creative side was already there. That was the strongest thing I had. And as you put all these pieces together, which is why I talk about balance, you have to put so many pieces together to make yourself really be able to evolve to the level that
Mm-hmm.
you need to be able to carry such a big vision.
Yeah.
Because if you're not evolving at the level that you need to, you can't carry that big vision because in the world there's sharks.
Mm-hmm. And
And
how are you responding to them? You
yeah,
know, I mean, they're gonna be there.
how are you gonna
Yeah.
handle the sharks when they see
Yeah.
you? Or when they smell blood, or when they see that you got a great series, but then you don't have your paperwork in order, or you don't have your trademark in order, or you don't have your copyright.
Come on now.
And now they didn't talk to you and got enough information. And then next thing you know, a few months down the road, you see your series on Netflix and they
What?
didn't took it from you. Like so it's really all about having that level of awareness and really developing that level of awareness because it's not
Mm,
gonna happen overnight. Some people got it just like that, intuition kick in. Some people got to go through some few hurts for it to
mm,
really kick in, for it to
yeah.
really be able to see people as they are and see how they move. And then
Mm-hmm.
after that, that's going to help you be able to move amongst the higher ranks
Yeah.
because you got to be able to see these people. You got to
Mm,
be able to see the sharks. And
mm,
that big purpose and evolving and that big purpose go hand in hand. You have
mm,
you have to be able to
mm.
evolve
That's
to that highest level to be able to move amongst pretty much I would say these godlike people.
that's right. No, that is right. I'm actually taking, I meant to say this earlier too, that I take note of the gems that are being dropped here.
Yeah.
I keep tally of the gems. Okay. Just understand that. That is so good. Everything that you just said there, because it's part of your process too. Sometimes when I'm, teaching artists or I'm having a workshop,
Hmm.
like the example I've used before is like, have you ever watched a movie where everybody it was all good through the whole movie? Like
Hmm.
nobody wants to watch that movie. They're not learning anything from that movie. Everything
Right.
is just peachy. No, you're going to have challenges. And now when you have these challenges, how are you going to respond to them? It's just, I mean, that's part of the equation.
Hmm.
That's good. Oh
Yeah,
my
so
goodness.
and that's the thing. That's the type of information that Charlotte Moores is going to have. You're going to
Mm,
be able to see it from more of an animated aspect, or cartoon, well, animated. But you're
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be able to see it from that aspect to where you're going to watch this lesson play from beginning to end, and it's going to be based off of real life situations. It's not
Mm,
something that's made up. It's something
yes.
that I possibly experienced, or I had a friend that experienced, or I knew
Yep.
somebody that experienced. It's going to be based off of reality, and how a person is going to need to be able to handle
Mm-hmm.
certain things. And why not be able to see your favorite character, or one of your next favorite characters being able to overcome trauma while being able to
Mm-hmm.
still take on the big boss and fight him while
Yes.
he's still internally struggling with the loss of a family member,
Mm, mm,
or
mm.
just had to get his arm, anything, like
Yes.
deal with the trauma of it. Because a lot of times we watching these shows, they they act so superhuman that they miss the aspect of emotions.
Mm, mm.
And that's the thing, like, we can be as strong as we want, but those emotions are still there.
Yeah.
You're still gonna feel, you're still gonna hurt, you're still going to go through those things, but
Mm-hmm.
your response to those emotions is what's going to be the deciding factor of where you end up.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you processing those, and
Yeah,
how many times have we seen, I mean, you can pick any, we'll say superhero, but you can pick any example, even in comics too, where they may be the strongest, the fastest, the most enlightened, and they have heartbreak, or
yeah.
they're still, carrying on a story that's not beneficial to their superpowers from their childhood, or traumas,
Mhm.
or even the I want to be fancy and I can't think of the other word, but the bad guy. Like, so the
Yeah,
bad guy is the bad guy because of what has occurred in his life that he's still holding on to,
yeah.
like there's, absolutely so many parallels. And with that being said, I'm so ready to talk about this collaboration of Battle of the Gods with Shaolin Moores and Dark Caesar. Is that what we're doing now? Dark
Yeah.
Caesar. So real quick, y'all, we are going to bring on the one and only Super Mega Dopey Dope, who his intro is, he is the artist. He's the artist. That's his intro. And just for my new listeners, I interviewed Super Mega Dopey Dope years ago. And now he is back on, and with blazing fire with this collaboration. And y'all, make sure, any podcast listeners, make sure you go watch the YouTube video, click the links in the description, and watch it, because our friend Super is looking super sharp. I wasn't ready. Okay. I'm like, are you vegan? Like, what? You're like glowing too? Like, what? I'm trying to understand. So come on and welcome Super, aka Super Mega Dopey Dope. So I'm going to just open up the conversation for both of y'all to just, kind of give your feedback or whatever you want to share about this crazy collaboration. I'm so ready to learn.
Man, we both have been hype about this collaboration. We've
Oh
been
my
talking about it
goodness.
for
That
about
was
a
a
couple
lot. That was
months.
like, oh, I didn't know. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Well, Dark Caesar is you guys, I think most people on Instagram know Caesar. And we have two characters that, basically are our, I guess, representations in our comics.
Okay.
So Pops is he goes after, he's like represented from my dad. So he's,
Mm-hmm.
as you come up, your parents are usually that that light for you. So
Yeah.
I put him as Pops, and Pops is, like a god tier character.
Mm.
So when I seen Shaolin Moores, I was just like, yo, this will be fantastic. This will be fantastic. And Obi was like, this will be fantastic. So we were like tossing it back and forth. We've been actually, it's been a while since we've been tossing it back and forth, but we decided to
Mm.
pull the trigger and actually get it going. And it's just bouncing ideas off each other has been like fantastic. It's
Mm.
it's like world shattering. So it's got our two god characters basically, fighting for enlightenment, I guess. It's more fighting
Mm.
for yeah, it's like I don't want to give too much of it away. It's like one is like, nah, relax. And the other one is like, I gotta get there. Just right past you. Just
But you're in the
so
way. Is
yeah,
that it?
you're in the way.
So overall, because I know you're mentioning how, supporters on Instagram may have an idea of what this means, but give us a little more, because I know that you don't want to give all of it away, but what is the greatest thing that we can know to prepare for this collaboration? What does that mean to us? How can we get excited about this collaboration?
Well, I would say people can get excited for one. Me and Super been in the game for a long time, and we actually came up together through the the IG art ranks. We actually
Y'all are pretty popular.
Really
I've asked around, and people know y'all. So.
Yeah, so if you look at us, we pretty much was like, with Double XL, like the freshman class, we were like in the same class.
Right. Okay. Yep. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, so we've been friends for about 6-7 years now. Like, we've been cool for a long time. And the biggest thing that you can take for excitement for this series is not only did you get to see a couple of your favorite characters from 2 different series, but you actually get to see that enlightenment isn't free. Enlightenment comes with a cost. Enlightenment is you're gonna have to pay something. So that's the thing, is like, where you have these 2 god tier characters that are in their pretty much in their respects, like god tier in both of their realms. Even at their levels, they still have to pay a cost. So that's the thing that we want to get people hyped for, is not only working together, because this is a collaboration. So you're getting to see 2 of your favorite artists not only collaborate, but we're working together to bring this to life, to share. Yeah. Like, it's like, hey, we wanted to share this with the world. Like, hey, we have a dope idea, let's bring it to life instead of just talking about it. So, that's what the main premise of it is that enlightenment comes with a cost. And sometimes that cost ain't the cost you want to pay.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's a lot to get really charged up about. That really is. Yeah, y'all brought it home. That was good. Thanks for that. Oh, but you should narrate. You should like do some kind of book narration or something. I
don't know. Probably where I'm headed, I probably will be doing maybe some audio books or something.
Look, hey, chapter 1. Come on now, clear. Possibilities are endless. Yes. If you're able to, you want to monetize that. Look, don't get me started, because I was just talking about that on IG last night. Y'all better monetize everything. Okay. If they were, hey, Obi, can you narrate this for Shallowmore's? Yes, you better believe it. Pay me. We're gonna work that out. Yeah.
When I was doing character bios, I was getting practice. So
okay. See, that's what's up. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
He did actually get like super ready for to be on camera too. It's fantastic. Like, seeing how he's been growing, it's been just light years.
Yeah. That's what's up. I'm really excited for both of y'all. This was it was really cool to see. First of all, to see that this is something that y'all are going to be working on. And it's conversations like this that can also fill our cup to prepare for that.
Right.
So thank you. Yeah.
Were you able to get those pages to
I got about 5 done so far. Just 5 right now. I think I got the last 2 frames on page 5 that I got to draft out, but I think I should have them drafts wise. I should have them done by the end of this week.
Okay.
So it's gonna be.
It's gonna go.
We already got into it. So
oh my gosh,
jumping in. We already jumping in.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Okay, podcasters, make sure you check out the YouTube video so you can catch all of this. Catch all of this excitement here. That's what I'm talking about.
It's the hype. I don't know, something, the fight scenes and having it be 2 gods. It's just man, it just gets the blood boiling. Like, I want to get it going. I know what it looked like. I want it to be fantastic. I want to jump off the page. I want it's
But let me say this too, because you have the right kind of foundation that's necessary for this to thrive. And that is a core passion for what you're doing, because if you can't get excited in the process, then what is the point? Like, like if you're waiting to create something and then you're waiting on someone else's reaction of excitement to get you charged up, that's where it's backwards. I have to say that because y'all know I have a lot of conversations with artists that are just kind of in a strange place. They're still trying to figure some things out, and that's fine. But it's that foundation. I say this all the time. So y'all have the right kind of fuel behind what you're doing. Yeah.
I will say this too. When me and Obi actually talk, it's like we bounce ideas off each other too. It's not just like, oh, we need to focus on this one project. It's like, oh, that was actually pretty fire. All right, let me take my little notes and
yeah, that's good, and it should be that way.
That's the thing.
It should be energizing.
Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of creatives, man. They try to rush the process of growth because a lot of times they get so focused on the platform instead of the craft. It's like, if it's meant for you to have a big platform, the people gonna follow you anyway, just because they see you loving what you're doing. You're not sitting there like, hey, follow me. Hey, check this out. This what I drew today. Just get on about your business.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that a lot of people got to get to as far as the younger artists or the people that's new to platforms or whatever. It's like, like the numbers and all that stuff don't come, man. You got to find your lane and what works for you, and just continue to keep going. Like, man, bro, been on here for what, 6-7 years on IG, and we
ahead of our time.
We were doing stuff that that stuff jumping now. It's like, man, we've been doing this stuff. Like, we didn't put together all type crazy projects, like, but it's just part of that process. It's about to be this renaissance in a sense. Where a lot of the creatives are about to really like get to push a lot of their projects out. And a lot of people are going to see a lot of this stuff more than just on IG. And that's why people got to be ready. You got to be, you got to have your paperwork ready. You have you have all your stuff ready, because when they coming, don't be sitting there like, I need to get my trademark real quick. No,
there ain't no
okay, I had to write this down real quick. Responsibility. Yeah. You have to have a sense of responsibility. If you really care about your craft, it's not about just putting and pouring your heart into it. What I usually say is bring your head, your mind, and your heart. That needs to come together. You have a passion for it, but your brain has to use some of that good old logical stuff. You have things to do. You have deadlines to meet. You got to get a license for something. Go get it. Like, that's part of actually taking care of your passion project all the way. Not just like the emotional part, but all the way entirely, like some of the things that you just mentioned, like make sure you got your paperwork together.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. And just, Obi, you're an old soul. I tell you this all the time. I mean, you're just the old soul. Like there's a level of wisdom that you just like have, I don't know what else to add on to that, but that's just my plug. I'm just going to say it during the interview. Y'all, I tell him that all the time anyway. But I also want to add that there are other very rewarding things that come with what y'all are working on and what you're doing, and to my artists that are listening too, because sometimes I understand that, we all experience whatever we're experiencing. And so they may be only focused on, hey, I got to make sure that what I'm doing is enough to take care of me or take care of my family, or, and that's all very true. But as you continue to move forward, there are other ways that people are touched by what you do, like the Shaolin Moors, and then this collaboration for the, Battle of the Gods. You're going to, if it's not already happening in ways, but you're going to continue to get certain responses from people that you didn't even expect. They're inspired in ways that you won't and you can't even think of right now. And that's what else comes with the willingness the diligence of moving forward with that passion, no matter what the challenges are that come up. If you know this is what you're supposed to be doing, then move forward with that, because it's not only about, popularity or money that you're going to make. It's about a bigger, like a shift in humanity type of stuff. That's the kind of vibe we're talking about. Not just, I got a couple hundred more followers because I did this. Like, that's great. That's wonderful that you did. But there's something even more powerful, that comes with that. And so I just want to give y'all that, I don't know, vote of confidence, because that's, like I said, if you haven't already experienced that, that's what can happen, will happen, is happening. And I also want to add that what y'all are doing is a manifestation. And I say this because I really, truly feel this. What you're doing, I feel this because I feel like I experienced this also. What you're doing is part of a collective desire to see it. Mm-hmm. There is a looming desire out there from artists who they want to see this, and they don't even realize that they want to see it until they see it. And then it hits them like in their soul. And they're like, where has this been? Like, the desire is there, so you're part of that massive shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, when we took the series to LA, that was kind of the response. It's like, it still was new. A lot of people still new to it. That was the only difference is when you have a new IP, it's going to be different from trying to sell Naruto or something.
Wait, a new IP? What do you mean?
Yeah, so basically a new series. So a new series, like an IP, is pretty much an intellectual property, which is
okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much so that's what Shadow Moors and Dark Seasons are. They're new IPs to the world, in a sense.
Oh my goodness! Wait, hold on, wait. I need for some of my listeners to grab a pen and pencil. I need for y'all to take notes, okay? Because there's more to this business than just drawing. Can I get an amen? Is that correct, y'all? Let me.
Yes. Yeah, it's like, a lot of paperwork.
That's important. That's important. I just want to say that. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. It is very important to say, because even what I do, there's more to it than just getting a microphone and just having fun with it. Like, there's just more to it. What I touched on earlier, if this is a true passion and calling and purposeful, then you make sure you take care, you cross your T's and dot your I's for sure. Right. That's good. So, let's stop now real quick. I just want to make sure, Super, are you going to give us any more feedback? Are you going to hang out with us a little bit more? Because then I'm going to start.
No. I'm going to bow out.
Oh, you're going okay. Okay, I'm just making.
I talk too much, so I don't want to tell everybody what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it together.
Yeah, you got to know yourself. Well, Super, it has been a pleasure having you on, and maybe in the future I can get you on and we can have an interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want that jacket though. Why? I did not expect that. Y'all, make sure you watch the YouTube video. Like, you got to see what he's wearing.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you for having me.
Okay, all the best to you. Okay, take care and talk soon, Super.
Later, bro.
Easy.
Okay, that was really good having him on. That was really good. And I'm glad that we got to get not only his feedback, but his excitement too. We definitely needed to gauge in on that energy. So I want to move in the direction of some of the challenges with moving forward with a project of this capacity. What have some of the challenges been? And I know that, Shaolin Moors isn't just something you started 2 days ago, right? So what has that looked like in the journey of Shaolin Moors? Certain challenges you may have come across, maybe those challenges were from within or externally. What has that experience been like, just for our listeners who are in their heads about something of this capacity. Like, oh my gosh, like, how would that work for me? How would I even get started on that? What would so-and-so say, you know, if I said I really wanted to do this? How can you drop some gems for those that are experiencing that?
So the biggest thing I've learned about projects, period, as far as from what the biggest thing for me, especially as an artist, is skill set. And skills mean more than just being able to draw. You have to have very good communication skills. You have to be able to network. You have to be able to really build rapport with people. Like, it takes building rapport with people, because you can have a dope project, but I mean, if you don't know how to talk to people, they're not going to be interested. So a lot of people buy into the personality of you. And if you don't take time to personally develop your personality, then you basically get nothing. So finances is another one. You definitely need money. I mean, you can possibly find somebody that can invest in your project, but most of the time, nobody's going to invest in it no more than you would. So they're gonna check to see if you even invested anything. If they see that you didn't invest anything except time, they're probably not going to put their money in. They would rather put their eggs on someone that actually took time to invest their own money and raise their own money and try their best to raise what they could.
Right.
That's where you could possibly get invested. So finances is another one. Time management. Time management is a huge one.
This real quick, this connects to what you were or what you mentioned as far as that balance too.
Yeah.
You know, so expand on the time management for us.
Yeah, so time management, I mean, most people typically work, you're gonna work a 9 to 5 or part-time or something. I mean, most of us don't come from rich homes or homes that are established, so we have to survive. I mean, most people typically will, depending on their path that they took, they'll try to do the struggling artist route, which, okay, I mean, good luck. That definitely wasn't my route, but I don't knock people that go that route.
Yeah.
You know, I just know for me that wasn't going to work for me. Since I did go to school and I did go to school for IT, I just used that to pretty much help develop my projects. So you definitely have to balance out work life and personal. And a lot of, because that's gonna be the typical person's life. They're gonna have to survive, then make time to draw. So sometimes you might get less sleep. Sometimes you might have to get up early in the morning.
Come on now.
Sometimes you might have to do some weekends.
Yep.
Like, there was a point early on before I really got really deep off in my career. I remember working like 3 to 4 jobs just to barely enough to survive, and I still was drawing during that time. So
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it comes to a space to where you have to really take time to manage, exactly how your life is gonna go. And then over time, as you continue to build up or the resources come in, because I mean, think about it, if it's your purpose and your path, the universe and God will provide.
Yeah.
But typically, you're always gonna get tested. How serious are you? How serious are you wanting to have this? That's going to be the question that the universe will pose to you. God will pose to you. How serious do you want it? You had this vision. I showed you. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to work some extra hours? Are you willing to work 7 days a week to make this happen?
Fire, y'all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've experienced all of these things, and that's what led me to where I am today in life. And that's the thing that with people, like, hey, you got to balance your life out if you want to get to this upper echelon. Think about a lot of the people, I think we talked about this in the last interview, but how many people invest their time into things that they really don't love, things that they
come on,
just because they want a quick come up. And then you kind of see them still struggling like 5-6 years later. And yeah, they might have improved a little bit, but you clearly see that it's not their path. A lot of people get stuck on doing what other people are doing because they want to come up fast. They want to get their quick come up, but they don't realize that if you're doing what you love and what's meant for you to have, the purpose, you're going to be financially taken care of.
You'll be taken care of.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about it. You don't have to struggle about that. And that's the thing. I've experienced it. I know what it's like to have abundance. I know you know what it's like to have abundance.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing that you have to worry about. And all you got to do is keep building on what the vision and the dream was given to you. And you
Yeah.
just doors open up, opportunities come. It could be a time where you thinking you about to be broke or something, like, man, I don't even know what I'm gonna eat. Next thing you know,
So look, God come through.
yeah, opportunity. And it's more than what you need.
Yes.
And yeah, like, man, I was just needing it. It boom, came right through. It's like
Exactly.
that. But you got to be following your purpose, and really you got to be living right too. If you're out here living bad, doing dirty things and doing people wrong, nah, you ain't getting nothing. You pretty much cut yourself off from source.
You did that. You did that to yourself.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, so many people have so many gifts and so many passions and so many things that they're good at. And I look forward to seeing a lot of the things that they can do, because I know they can do this.
Yeah.
Unless they have to see it. They have to see more examples of it being successful. They have to see more people be successful at it. That way they be like, okay, I don't have to be a rapper. I don't have to get on OnlyFans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's truth.
I can just be straight, legit, and just be successful. And I don't have to go though either one of those paths or whatever path.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't matter. I mean, it's people that some people build for that, some people not.
Yeah.
And it's all about finding you. What makes you you? What is your passion? What is the thing that you dream about and think about throughout the day? Like, I wonder what I can do or what I can create, what I can make next.
Yes.
What's next? So
yeah. And to add on to that, allowing yourself to do those things too.
Yeah.
You know, just giving yourself that allowance to say, you know what? Why not? Why not do it? And it doesn't always have to be. We're not going to go into you know, all the details, but it doesn't always have to be for money. When it comes to something that just kind of comes to you, you're like, you know what, I think I'm going to try doing that today because that feels kind of enjoyable, you know, or whatever amount of time. But you don't have to. This is going to leading with passion. I think that's what I'm saying. Leading with the passion for wanting to do that or try that. And if in fact you do get paid, that's even better. You know, that's even better. You can be intentional with that and say, you know what, same thing I was mentioning earlier, like monetize that. Like, okay, cool. You know, you want to try that? You know, I mean, I'll use myself as an example, and bringing up my passion for doing custom t-shirts. Like I actually did that for years, and I did very well at that. Yes. And shout out, because you got your RTA shirt on. I know the camera wasn't showing it, but I was like, it's all good. Like, on trip. Respect that. He's got his RTA shirt on. To all the podcasters, make sure you check out the YouTube video and the links below. But yes, if you're going to do that, then okay, you know, maybe you want to monetize it just so you can, you know, get the ball rolling. And but again, using myself as an example, I do it because I actually really love to do that too. You know, I'm not I'm wise enough to realize that my strongest medium is my voice. Like that's the strongest medium, but it doesn't mean because that's my strongest suit that I can't do other things that I enjoy doing, you know? I mean, so yeah, that's really good. Good gracious. The gem count. I've lost count. I have lost count of the gems that have been dropped. Yeah, that's really good stuff. Gracious. OBE, you got a lot going on. A lot of really good things going on. And I do want to give a shout out to your team, who, you know, to recap for those that, you know, don't know about the previous interview that I did, but, you know, all of I'm just going to say your team, that is part of this project, you know, big shout out to them too. So we've put a little light on the challenges. And you've also shared some like a mindset that an artist that it would be beneficial for them to have. And you even talked about personality and things of that nature. You know, a lot of artists that tune in, they are a little more introverted and they have yet to take some of these steps. I even have, or recently I had an artist message me and she said that she's introverted, but she's trying to change that.
Mhm.
And I'm putting some light on this because I know we actually talked, it's coming to me now. We actually talked about this on our previous interview, that it's not necessarily saying that you have to become someone else. Right. It's about putting on the cap when you need to put the cap on, when you need to turn it up. And you need to interact with people, well, then interact with people.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you now have to become that in your face over extroverted type of person. So what can you share with the introvert who is still trying to figure out what that means, you know, what it means to network, and, you know, what does that mean for them as far as only doing it when necessary and not trying to become somebody else? You know, like another term artists hit me with is like, I don't want to be salesy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is salesy to you? See, in your head, salesy means something negative. Salesy means something like, you know, overstepping your bounds, you know, like, so what kind of feedback can you give to the artist that is still trying to determine when to turn it up a notch when interacting with people and networking?
So for me, because I'm introverted as well, but
Mm-hmm.
I can wield extroversion whenever I need to. I learned how to do it because I work in corporate America, so I
Right.
have to be extroverted.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I can say that I've learned through, you know, marketing for my personal projects and, you know, at work, you have to have a level of confidence in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
who you
Mm.
are, and you have to be comfortable with who you are. Otherwise, you'll remain in that box. Because
Yes.
a lot of times with introverts, don't get me wrong, we don't like to talk to people, or we don't. And it's not that we don't like to talk to people. We're just very selective. And
Yes.
you know, a lot
That's
of
true.
times, a lot of people just aren't interesting to us to talk to.
Mm.
But typically, we find people that we do like and we find interesting, then we don't mind talking to them. The biggest thing is that you have to understand that you're not going to get where you want to be not being able to talk.
Mm.
You have
Mm.
to use your voice to get to where you're trying to go.
Whew.
And if you don't use your voice, you're not going to get to where you need to go. You have to be able to
Facts.
speak it. You have to be able
Yeah.
to speak it. You have to be able to say what you want. A lot of times you waiting on somebody to give you a raise at work. Okay, if you got the facts, like if you got the facts that you've done more above and beyond for your work, then you should be able to have that conversation.
Right.
If they're not,
Confidence, what you had said.
and
Mm-hmm.
if they're not giving you what you want, then you need to be making moves. You need to go check around, kind of like look at the competition. You need to go do something, and you need to have that confidence to go get
Mm.
what you want
Mm-hmm.
and know that you deserve what you want. Don't let someone else dictate your price when you know what you're worth. And
Yeah.
knowing what you're worth comes with confidence. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
confidence, you'll never know what you're worth.
Say that.
Yeah. So you have to develop that confidence. Like what was it about 2021? No, 2022. No, 20. Yeah, I'm putting together a timeline. So no, 2021.
Okay.
2021 was a life-changing year for me career-wise because I finally was able to get out of a former employee or employer
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't allowing me to grow like I needed.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I was doing the extra work. I was doing what I was supposed to do. But the gift of what I know now and what I've experienced now, it was a blessing. God
Mm.
blocking that from happening. So
Mm.
and go get what I truly deserve, which now I could care less about that old place. Like it's one of those things that where I've grown to and what I have now, I would have never gotten it there. And basically I would have been settling if I got what I thought I wanted.
Come on.
So,
That's good. And I'm glad that you did.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, but you have to have a voice. You have to at least, I mean, especially if you're trying. Once you tried a few times, like, all right, I need to go do something else. And then once you have that confidence, hop out there and you just see what happens. Like, let me go try. Because the worst thing you can get told is no.
Come on now. Come on.
No. Yes. Okay, well, I'll do a try over here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going until I get a yes. And once you get that yes, all it takes is one yes to change your life. And you'll realize through that yes that you have more say-so in your life than you realize. A lot of people don't realize say-so.
Say that.
They just follow what people are telling them to do. And it's like, look, everybody's not good. Everybody don't have your back. And you have to be able to know in your mind, like, okay, I deserve this. I'm doing the extra work. It's not it's not like I'm being lazy. Now, if I'm being lazy and think I deserve more, no, you know. But if you've done the work and the fruit is there, you have to be able to step outside of where you're comfortable at.
That comfort zone for some artists, though, OB, that's the biggest deceiver for some of them. And some people, artists, they don't even realize that they're in a comfort zone, repeating behaviors that are keeping them like in other words, they don't like where they're at, but they don't know why they're still comfortable there. You know, like, so
it's fear.
Yeah.
Fear is a component of comfort because to step into the unknown, you have to step through fear to get into the unknown. Because the unknown is scary. You don't know what's about to happen. With comfort, I know I'm gonna be here at this time. I know I'm gonna get with these people. We're gonna complain.
Right.
Or, we're gonna do. It's like you know what's gonna happen. Once you step into the unknown, you have no idea what's about to happen, and things could get much better, or they can get far worse. So the blessing in it is once you get to that space of like, you know what, I'm gonna step into the unknown anyway. I'm gonna see what happens. Worst case scenario, I have to go back. Worst case scenario.
But the best case
is like, hey, you can get the best case scenario, which most of the time, if you've done your homework and your work, you're gonna get the best case scenario.
Yes.
But you have to put aside fear. Because the funny part about the comfort zone is once you get past the unknown, it leads to more comfort.
which and to add on to that and to relate to that, that's why when you have that strong desire to keep growing, you're constantly stepping into the unknown.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, you're always on the edge. You're always like right there. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna see what happens. Next thing you know, another level up. Like,
okay.
Wow. I can get this. And next thing you know, you look at your life and you have everything you could possibly imagine right at your fingertips. Bank account good, house good, like vehicle straight. Like I'm talking, you just really like, what else can I get? Like,
you're right.
And you realize that abundance, man, is just like everybody can get a taste. But you have to live in your purpose and what you're building, and you'll see, like, hey, all I had to do is just be me. That's it. Just be me. Be myself. Give love in the world. Don't be stupid, because unfortunately, you can give love to the wrong people and realize they don't love you.
You got to learn and learn those lessons.
Learn the lessons, But
That's
then
good.
once you get the right people around you, the people that do care about you, love you, and you love them, and I know me personally, I live about the golden rule,
Mm.
and I believe heavily in karma. Like
Mhm.
I like my good karma on full. Like
Yes.
like so I do right by everybody.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So
What?
you live in that mindset of, hey, I'm going to treat people as I want to be treated.
I'm telling you.
And I'll just
Telling you.
see what happens. And
Hmm.
you'll realize that life goes so much better when you treat people well. You
Yes.
treat people wrong and you do wrong by them, and you're, conniving and doing a lot of
Hmm.
silly stuff, you won't ever have any success. Not no real success, because
Gonna be
everything
rough.
you'll lose it. You'll lose
Yeah.
everything to you, and that's the thing as creatives and artists is live a honest life.
Hmm.
Do right by people. Like I've gotten further in my craft just doing right by people.
Mm.
I've been able to walk in rooms and meet some of the highest people up, especially in where I'm headed to, especially with the cons and doing cons and stuff now. Just being genuine,
Yeah.
and you meet some of the greatest people that you've ever met. You're like, man, these people really like legit. Like, this is pretty cool.
People can tell that too, Obi. They can sense that. They
Yeah.
can sense that being genuine and authentic. They
Hmm.
again, that communication, only 5% is verbal. They feel
Yeah.
it. They know it. They know it. It's and interacting with people, which I get a lot of fuel from interacting with people,
Hmm.
but they know they can feel they can some of the people that I've met, they can feel it in ways that I can't even understand. Like
Yeah.
they'll be verbal and tell me like, "Oh my gosh," and they'll start telling me what, I don't know what it is about blah 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 blah, and I'm over here like I didn't even know. It's just connecting with what you're saying. It's just really being authentically yourself, not the avatar that you've built, like authentically really being yourself and really treating people with decency and respect. They can sense that you're that way. They can sense that.
Yeah. You'd
Yeah.
be surprised what you can feel and what you sense off people just when you just take time to um when you take time to really like listen. When you take time to really
Mm.
get a read, because it'll tell you a lot about people. Like,
Yeah.
if you just pay a little attention, and
Yeah.
you can see the real in them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, like, man, it's so much. Like, this one of those combos, man. We could talk
I
forever
know.
about the type of wisdom and
Yep.
the type of things that you learn and the things that
Mm-hmm.
you can grow, and the thing,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean it's like limitless, because you know there is so much wisdom and game out here, to where um we have a lot we can teach each other, but a lot of people have to be able to communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And know when to be the student, and when to be the teacher, when to be the speaker and the listener. That's
Yeah.
facts. So good gracious, the OB wisdom, y'all. This is like there are so I was taking note of the gems, and the gems turned to diamonds as they're sitting here on my paper. This has been an amazing chat, and so it's a chat, but it's thorough, so it's not even really like it's like it's an interview, but it's with depth. I think
Yeah.
that's what I want to lead to. There's so much depth, and there's so much value from this interview. So Obi, tell us who you want to give some shout outs to, any, mentions, any shout outs in any way.
I want to give a shout out to, obviously, Super Mega Dopey Dope,
Yes.
homie C Knight, my homie
Yeah.
Fred, T Scott, Mr. Figs, Black Orc, Jen, April. Man, I can give a
Hey.
whole list, man.
Yes.
One of my business partners, Sarah, she's super dope. She's real big in the cons. Shout out to
Awesome.
her. We definitely gonna run these numbers up.
Yes.
And pretty much everybody. I
Yeah.
think we
Yeah.
all have so many gifts and
Mm-hmm.
things to share with each other. And also
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Charlotte Moore's team. It was good.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, I look forward to seeing more and more people be themselves in
Mm.
upcoming years.
Yes. Yeah, because that just helps humanity
Yeah.
overall. It really does. That shifts us and projects us in a positive direction when we actually go all the way around the world to realize, what is it you mentioned earlier, being yourself, that in itself can take you many places. But sometimes people take their current state and say that is the real them. They're like, oh well, I'm good here, so that's a whole nother talk. But
Yeah.
otherwise, especially treating yourself and others with decency and respect, and being genuine in that. And yes, yeah, this came to mind when I asked you about shout outs. And again, for some of my new listeners tuning in, I interviewed OBE years ago, maybe at this point, maybe like a couple years, maybe 2.5 years or so ago. But after, this was on Instagram. So after we had the live interview, I asked, or, maybe towards the end of the interview, regardless, I asked him if he knew other artists that wanted to be interviewed. He was the first artist that gave me a ton. Actually, I take that back. It may have been you and con artists. Do you know con artists?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know he gave me a lot of artists too. You gave me a lot of artists. I was like, how do you I'm thinking, how does he remember these people? But if you're interacting with them and all that too, I get it at this point. I can call off so many artists, so that was so helpful for me back then. I was like, wow, these artists are so amazing. All the people that you put me onto. So that's just a heads up to tell y'all the kind of involvement that OBE has as far as community and things like that, and taking that community aspect pretty seriously. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, we were mentioning earlier when Super was on with us, it's not just about the numbers. What are you doing with those numbers? What are you doing with the people? These are real people.
Right.
How do those relationships look like when you're connecting with folks? So yeah, the shout out to you on that one, OBE. So we're going to close out with a tradition that I've carried out forever with the word game. And I tried to be even more creative and use words that you mentioned during the interview. So I was jotting some of those words down. Okay, you look serious now. I'm over here do I need to be serious? You got the straight look on your face. I'm like, oh boy, did I do something wrong?
Oh no.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to call off a handful of words. And to those that don't know the word game, I simply say a word and then OBE has to tell me the first thing that comes to mind within 2 to 3 seconds. And if you can't think of anything, OBE, just say pass and we'll keep it moving. Okay. All right. So the first word is habits. Habits.
Okay. Oh, working out.
Okay. Working out. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey. All right. Nice. So working out. You know what? And on that note, I have been working out, but I haven't been to the gym in, oh man, maybe a month.
Ooh.
Yeah. But hold on. I gave the heads up that I have been working out. I got my weights and I got my bands and everything at home because I enjoy that, but I have not been to the physical building of the gym. Habits that came to mind. Do you use a habit tracker to track your? No. I started using that. I love that, by the way. I didn't even know that was a thing. Someone told me about it. Okay, the next word is lessons. Lessons.
Lessons. The first word that comes.
Mm-hmm.
Lessons. Oof. I was trying to say lessons. I would say life lessons.
Wait, what?
Trust. I guess if it's lessons, trust your intuition.
Okay. You're pulling the wisdom into the word game too. Yes. Okay. I'm with that. Definitely trust your intuition, y'all. Pay attention. All right. The next word is Asian. Asian.
Asian. Jackie Chan. Yeah.
Okay, I am with it. Jackie Chan. Oh, anything with Jackie Chan is crazy. Like the movies he's in, I'm like, what? Like
Yeah.
out of this world. I was going to say, don't say Persuasion, because I've had some artists that we do these word games and they just call off words that rhyme. And it's like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. The next word, only a couple of words left. The next word is character. Character.
Character. Your character is defined by the choices that you make.
Okay. All right. I feel like with each response, it feels like you wrote a book. Like it just feels like there's so much with the one-liner. Like I'm like, wow, okay. And the final word is time. Time.
Appreciate it because you can't get it back. It's the only resource you truly cannot get back.
That's what's up. Oh my goodness. All right. That was what's an action-packed, excitement-packed, and value-packed interview. OBE Gains Maker. OBE, it has been a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much. And without a doubt, I know that artists are tuning in and they are pulling a lot from this. And so thank you on their behalf also. I'm so excited for Shallon Moores and this wild collaboration for the Battle of the Gods with Shallon Moores and Dark Caesar. Like, what? Like, okay. Yes, I'm so excited for you and Super and all of those that are going to benefit from supporting this project along the way.
Okay.
Yes. And shout out to all our listeners too. Thank you, y'all, for tuning in. So OBE and I are going to say peace to y'all, and we're going to hang out for a couple minutes. So thanks so much, y'all. Y'all take care, and I'll catch y'all on the next interview. Bye. Creatives, it has been both a pleasure and an honor to have you sit in on our conversation today. So will you be the next artist interviewed? Visit respecttheartist.com/artist-interviews to learn more. And hopefully I'll see you soon. RTA stands for Respect the Artist. Love y'all.